Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be checking out Flying Fry's XF-11. It's the Howard Hughes aircraft. A beautiful aircraft indeed, guys. This one has been stowed upon me by Lord Fry himself for a nice review before this plane comes out. So today we're going to take this beautiful aircraft for a quick flight, try it out, see how it flies, look inside of it. I'm going to show you some hidden features in this aircraft as well, and it should be a good time, so come along and let's get started here. So a couple of things about this airplane. This was a prototype designed, I think it was back in 1943 to 46. Two prototypes were made. I believe one crashed, which was in the famous movie The Aviator, and they crashed on the golf course. Today we're in the Bahamas, and this is the neon flash version of the aircraft. There's 7 different liveries that come with it, which I'll show you at the end of this video as well. So with that being said, let's take a look at this beautiful aircraft and all the features and systems and everything that it has to offer. It is absolutely amazing, this thing. I took it for a test fly yesterday for the first time, and pretty impressed with it. Really impressed. As you can see here, it was made for the U.S. military. I don't think it ever came to be, because the times have changed before they ever got the thing, so to speak, off the ground, right? So as you can see here, it has a counter-rotating prop, 4 on the back and 4 on the front, which I thought is a super cool feature. You don't really see this, and probably because the plane's not the best with roll and pitch. It uses top ailerons here, which you'll be able to see in a minute. Once we get inside, I'll show you some of the features of the aircraft when we get it powered up. But let's just take a look overall. So the developer, Flying Fries, made this aircraft, and it is beautiful. They're not a huge, big developer company, but the detail and the design of this aircraft is just really beautifully done. I really love it. I don't know if you guys remember, but they did come out with a freeware aircraft, which I believe was the Flying Heap. I think it was pretty cool. I don't remember the exact name of that aircraft. We'll have to go ahead and check that out as well. But I did do a review video. I'll leave a link for that one in the description. That was a really fun aircraft, and I thought, you know, these guys did a fantastic job with the freeware. And look at this thing, man. This is going to come out soon, and I will definitely be buying this one. They did give me this free copy to play with, which is awesome. It does have a couple things that will probably be changed in the future. They're still working on it, so this is not the full release yet. However, it is amazingly done. They did a fantastic job just looking at this. Let's go look underneath the wheel wells as well. You know, everybody likes the gear, right? So the gear is very nicely done. I chose this color today because I figured, hey, we're in the Bahamas, you know what I mean? Let's be a little bit loud. And I love it. I love it. Look at this. The attention to detail here is really amazing. I can't wait to get these things started too. These are engines are Pratt and Whitney. I believe they are, let me just check. I did write the notes. 4360 Pratt and Whitneys. So this thing actually does have, it has a max altitude of 300 miles an hour, or 300 knots I should say, 44,500 feet of altitude, 14 hours of duration. It has 500 nautical miles, and here's the interior of it. And it is it has 7 different fuel tanks, which I'll be showing you. Here's the pressurization system. You can pressurize this aircraft up in the air here, and you can set it and everything. There are going to be, I think, failures eventually with this aircraft as well. You have some recording machinery here. I guess that's for your flight data and old school stuff. And then you, of course, it has a little cool map here. And look at this, a little hidden basket in case you get hungry along the way. Some wine and cheese and uh, scones or bread, which is fantastic, right? Seat comes in and out, as you see. A bunch of cool features here. We also have um, in the front of this aircraft, it's an observatory. There's Howard Hughes' hat. You can click on it to put it on. You know, if you're worthy of wearing his hat or not. That's another cool little Easter egg, if you will, right, of this aircraft. You have some fire protection here and oxygen for going up, and then of course here's your observatory. You have flying fries coffee mug, which is a great little merch plug right there. Pretty cool. I love it. And of course, what else? There's some other little hidden stuff here, like the sticker. See you at Expo 2024, which is pretty cool. That's going to be in Vegas. Hopefully, I can make it to that one. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. But I definitely love this plane, and I didn't even get it up in the air yet. So, a lot of cool features. Of course, the walls are, you know, you can come in and out. So, not a big deal with that though. That's I actually like that better. So you can walk around the plane and look at it. These are the seat that you can sit here to look down here at the nose gear, I believe. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I'm going outside the aircraft. I'm trying to get a better view for you. Well, anyway. Yeah, so if you do look out this little sight here, which it's not allowing me to do, you'll see the landing gear. You could do that through drone mode. I just don't... I'm not using drone mode right now. I'm just using the walk around mode. And of course you could sit here to look out the plane as well while you're flying, which would be an excellent view. Plenty of leg room. And what other hidden features are over here? I know there's a couple other ones, right? We have Howard Hughes' hat. We have a tablet here as well for the fuels and to make sure that they are on. I'll show you here in a minute once we get this plane started up. I don't want to miss anything because this plane is so cool. You can put on... Oh, here's Howard Hughes himself, the man. It has a little step ladder and then the ladder to climb up into it, which they will have it animated here. So there's a couple of features, which are... Let's get in the pilot seat here. Right over here, pretty much these are your... Once you get the battery powered, you can click on these, and these are your features right here. So it's pretty feature rich as well, right? So in order to get this thing started... Oh, by the way, let me just show you one other thing with this real quick, which is pretty cool. So they're going to have 7 different fuel tanks, and the systems are going to have failures on there, so you can really play around with the fuel. If you ever have a fuel failure with the back tank and the front tanks and all that stuff. Let me see if I can find it for you. It's right under here. So these are all fuel tank feeds. So you can change these as you have any kind of failure, which is pretty cool. I think they're going to model that as well, and it does have on, I think it's on this side, all your fuses, which you can pull as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead, get it up in the air, take it for a flight, and get it started. So we have a checklist here as well. There is, if you wanted to go through the full checklist, you can. Pretty good stuff here before start and after start. I'm going to do pretty much a simplified version of that. So we can pull it out though for startup if you like. So cow flaps are going to be open. This is your cow flaps, which are right there, which is so cool to see them. The sound effects and that, I love it. All right, that you're going to feather your prop if you want to. It's unnecessary for the startup. You can move your I don't think you need to feather, but we're going to feather it with the actual prop levers here, so we'll put them fully to fine, and then the mixture, which is up here, are going to go fully to rich. We're going to crack the throttles, which are right here, open. Okay, and then you do want to make sure that you trim the trim wheel as well when you start. That little notch right there is 10 notches, so you're going to want to trim the aircraft there for takeoff. So that's your brakes right here. This is your flap setting. You're going to put flaps to 10. But before we do that, we'll go ahead and get the battery on. So battery's coming on. All right, GPU. There is a there's electrical. So you have a little generator feature here. You got covers for your engines, wheel chocks. You got the ladder, pilot invisible, co-pilot invisible. Bunch of different features here. So there's the chocks. There's the ladder to climb up in. There's our electrical. There's the wheel chuck. So a couple cool features right there. If you guys want to use them, you can. It's up to you. We're going to turn those off for now. This is your door access close. Your battery has to be on for your door to open and close here. That is for the back access right there. So that one we need closed. This is the one for underneath the plane. So that closes us up. Now we are good. Here's your autopilot systems as well, which are really functional and great. That's the cool thing about this. You could go old school with the flight system controls, or you can come into this little tablet here and it has options for other. So you just click on that and you can change it to the 730 and you can do flights with that, or you can do the standard 530, or you can do the old school equipment. We're just going to use the old school equipment today, since we're just going to take it for a quick flight around the Bahamas and bring it back in. Just kind of test it out. Not going anywhere. We'll probably do a stream with it later if you guys want to join me to see a full flight with it. Alright, so battery is on. We'll go ahead and put the navigational lights, which are, most of the lighting is down here. Put that on as well. We'll check this out to see what it looks like in the dark as well as the daytime. I really love this plane. These are your magneto switches. You're going to have to turn those on to both right there. So just click them and they'll go up to the both. These are your fuel select, so you're going to have to turn these on as well. Make sure all of these are selected. So right now they're closed, so you want the left fuel tank on left, the right on the right. These go to tail, and then this stays in the center. Okay, this thing has a lot of fuel tanks. It has a lot of range, and you want to make sure you set your fuel tanks correctly as needed. Okay, now let's go ahead and prime the engines and we'll start up here. Let me make sure we should be good to go for that. So you're going to hit prime for 2 seconds and then it should go. Oh yeah, look at that. All that smoke coming off. That's nice, right? It's a beautiful sounding aircraft too, especially at speed. These engines do not like to rotate low. You want to make sure you put them in a good idle or they will shut off. I learned that the hard way. Okay. I think this is absolutely amazing. You can hide that and put it there if you like. Totally up to you. So go ahead and put 10 notches of flaps in. Make sure we don't forget that, right? We're going to prime the next engine here for 2 seconds. I love it. That is the coolest thing, right? The smoke coming out of those engines. Absolutely amazing. Alright, let's keep going here, guys. Flight control check. Here's your ailerons. So you have this little tiny aileron here, and then you got a bunch of flaps on the top of the wing that help control, because the counter rotation of the prop really makes this at lower speeds harder to control. So this thing likes speed and it does not like to be too slow. If you get this thing too slow, it will probably stall out for the most part. Okay, so now that we have both the engines on, we want to continue on here to the next step, right? So we're going to go ahead and put the generators and alternators on. Then the avionics master can come on. Okay, so now we should be getting a little bit of readings. Now if we take this away, you should be able to see some of the fuel on the left and right start moving, and that will also indicate here as well on your fuel. You see how it's already starting to come down from your fuel, your main tanks here. It does also have the options for further outside tanks. The engines have to be shut off for these to appear, I believe. So keep that in mind. We got the ladder still under there. We got to get rid of the ladder. There he goes. Okay. I don't know why I still had that ladder. So let's just check the checklist one more time after startup, right? So we got avionics master is on. And this does light up in the blue, which is really cool. So it's really easy to see if you did everything correctly, you know? Stowing the ladder, closing the hatch, and all the doors, everything secure, you know, pretty much everything as you would imagine, right? Now, it does, it is a beautiful aircraft. All right, let's go ahead and take the brake off and take it for a ride. Here we go, guys. This is the fun part of it. Also, let me see. I'm going to show you the night lighting real quick here before we get off the ground, just so you guys can see. So, it does have, lighting right here, which is really nice. I think you got cabin lighting, floor lighting, white noise, really any kind of lighting your heart desires in this thing you got, which is, in my opinion, I always like the lighting. I think sometimes the lighting is some of the best features, right? So you got a little bit of light there, really beautiful. Here's the light on the outside here. Here's your landing lights that come up from the bottom. You got your beacon light, right? Your taxi lights, and then your strobe lights, of course, right? So there's no beacon, but your strobes, you could use them, and then your taxi light is right in the nose. So a bunch of different lightings. Let's just see what that looks like completely in the dark now. Beautiful, right? So you could really take this for a proper flight if you wanted to, especially being that there is a, I guess the tablet's not lit up here. But that could be because of the features. Let me see. No. Let's see, make sure the lighting works on that, right? Okay, so that's something they're probably working on. So we found something wrong with this, which is, you know, that's fine. It's something what the developers are probably going to be working on that. But as of now, the tablet doesn't light up in the dark. There's probably something they missed. Hopefully they watch this, and I'll be sure to let them know if they missed that or not. I'm not sure. But that's okay, because they're still working on this. So sometimes, you know, that's what the feedback's for, right, guys? But so far, pretty great. I did notice one other thing. In the last time I flew this was glitching a little bit on this window. So that is another thing. However, other than that, man, I'm not even complaining. Put the anti-ice on here. Not that we need it. We're in the Bahamas. Look at this thing. It is just a huge airplane. By the way, let me show you what it looks like from sitting back here. Look at that. Imagine you're flying with Howard Hughes sitting in this seat. Jeez. This is an insane plane. This is from the back seat with the radios. So cool. Absolutely amazing aircraft indeed, right? I'm really excited to get this thing in the air. So like I said, we don't have any kind of flight plan. We're just going to basically take off and take it for a little bit of a ride. It taxis very, very well. Very good on taxiing. Brakes work great. There's the full brake. Full brake. Works fantastic, this aircraft. I love it. So, Flying Fries gave this copy of this to me. And I'm really excited to fly it, dude. I actually love this plane. I wanted to buy it. It wasn't out yet. I reached out to them to see if they would allow me to check it out and fly it here for you guys. So let me know if you guys are going to pick this plane up in the comments below. I'm really curious to see how many like this aircraft. I absolutely love it. I always love unique aircrafts like this. I do think a little bit of the window, maybe take a little bit of that scratching away. It's a little bit overdone. This side seems to be super clear, and this side's really scraped up. which is a little bit too much scraping on the left side. I think they should calm that down slightly. But like I said, I'm just giving a little bit of my feedback and instruction criticism. However, I don't want to say anything bad because this plane itself is so cool. I really like it. It's pretty good on taxiing. You got to really keep a little bit of right rudder in on the taxi. I only have it at idle, really, for the most part. A little bit higher than idle. And it's taxiing fairly well, but it does seem to pull slightly to the left, which makes sense for a beautiful, you know, like this is a pretty big aircraft. Let's go ahead and taxi onto the runway right here. We don't need much runway with this thing. This thing is pretty good and pretty quick to come right up in the air, so. This thing is really fast, so watch. Ready? This is your airspeed indicator here. We're just gonna hit the brakes and we'll put the power on a little bit. Here we go. I love the sound of this thing. Okay, a little bit of left rudder coming in. Here we go. Now it's starting to stabilize. And we are pulling back. And we're up. Look at the gear coming up. Gotta love it. Alright. Probably don't want the nose coming that far up. Let me pull back on the engines and slow down. What I pulled the props back slightly. We can go ahead and close the cowl flaps. There we go. Nose coming back down. Like I said, oh, by the way, when you fly this thing, it's super heavy on the controls, almost like an airliner, probably because the way it's designed, the ailerons, when they come up and down. I don't know if you guys can see that. You see the ailerons? They'll pop up on the top of the wing, which is pretty interesting design, and we're already doing 100 or almost 200 knots right now. So let's see what this thing got. So I'm going to level out here, trim the nose down, and we're going to put some speed in there. It's wanting to come up on the nose, so we're just going to trim down a little bit and gain some airspeed. I want to see what this thing can do. We'll take it for a little bit of a test ride here. Oh yeah, this thing is moving now. We're almost at, yeah, we're climbing. We're almost at 300 knots right here. Is 300 knots. Now this thing is boogieing. Really cool. That's the airfield we just took off from. Let's put it. I have it wide open right now, and it's doing almost about 300 knots. It does have an autopilot too, so we can do altitude hold, autopilot on, heading hold on. Now it should hold us. Oh yeah, alright, I'm going to start slowing down because it's ice starting to jump up and down there. I don't want to overspeed it. We got a little bit of turbulence with it too. Let's try moving to the right here at 22 degrees. Yeah, it's definitely, it works great though. Fantastic on the roll here. The autopilot is great. The wind noise is a little bit too much inside the cabin. You can put the headphones on. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. However, it does sound very, very windy on the inside of this thing. That's one thing that they might have to work on. I don't know. But I'm sure they're still working on developing this aircraft as well. So let's go take the autopilot off. I want to get a little bit of hand flying in with this thing. I love it. I think it's fantastic. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's try a little bit of a stall test with it. Hopefully I don't crash it. I'm just going to turn back towards the airport here as we fly over to Bahamas. We're going to go up in the air a little bit higher here. Rolling back out. Alright, we're about 5,000 feet already, right? 5,400 feet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull back and we're going to see how this thing reacts. Power on stall here, which is probably not the best option with an aircraft like this. I have a feeling this is a bad idea, but I want to see how it reacts. So I'm going to pull all the way up on it. And it is just climbing up. The speed's bleeding off. 140 knots. Almost 10,000 feet. 100 knots. Hopefully we don't put it into a flat spin. Flaps are all the way up. 60 knots. And we're just dropping. The nose is coming down. Alright, so the nose just came down. That ain't bad. Alright, let's go ahead. Level out here. I don't want to go too fast and get G-locked. Altitude 9,000, 8,000. Alright, we're leveling out. We got to slow down too. We're going a little too fast. Well, we're alright on speed. This thing can handle a good amount of speed, which is great. Let's do a power off stall. Pull back again one more time. This time I took the power out. I'm going to nose up. Climbing up 7,000 feet. One more time. I want to see how it reacts. This time, power coming off. Not all the way. Hopefully. Okay, there we go. Left wing's dropping. We still have the engines on, so. Alright, here we go. Pulling out. Uh-oh. It's starting to. I'm starting to lose it there. It's really heavy on that wing. Alright, there we go. There we go. We're coming back around. Alright, there we go. Ooh, we 5,000 feet, guys. We almost went in the ocean for a second there. Beautiful, though. It handles fantastic. All right, let's head back to the airport. Let's try to land this baby and see how that goes. I love it. The detail on this thing, too, is amazing. We'll check out the liveries as well. And a lot of cool features with this and hidden Easter eggs. I really, really like this plane. Let me show you something else. That let me just put it back on heading, altitude, all that stuff real quick. Alright, that should do it for now. It's still isolating a little bit when you put it on autopilot, but I wanted to show you guys one other feature in here. There is a thank you to the crew who made this aircraft. I don't have to find out where it is, though. Oh, here. So these are some of the people that made this happen, which I find super cool. So shout out to these guys. These are legends that made this aircraft for us to enjoy in the stream. So thank you so much to each and every one of you guys for making this aircraft. It's awesome. It's freaking awesome. I love it. I love it. Alright, let's take the autopilot back off here. Stop clowning around. And let's get this plane back on the ground. I'm going to pull out some power. And the runway's right there to the right of us. Right over here. We're going to come back around to line up with the runway. Start slowing down. We're still doing like almost 200 knots here, so we really want to start pulling out some power. We got a lot of turbulence today over here in the Bahamas. I like how this plane too is, if you see my controls, I have it like vertical, right? And because the right wing is kind of dipping on me as we get to lower speeds. So that's pretty interesting. How the plane reacts is different than most, right? At higher speeds, it's really agile. It feels good. Lower speeds, this thing starts to get a little bit increasingly harder to aviate, right? There's the airport down there. We're going to just go ahead and start spinning. We're at 5,000 feet, so I'm going to kind of spin around here slightly. I'm going to put full prop back in. We got mixture fully rich. And we're going to continue to keep that nose down. Let's just trim down a little. Okay. And we'll come down and around. We'll be landing right there. So we're just going to kind of circle around here. Like I said, this handles like a giant aircraft, which it is. So it makes sense. So you definitely have to keep an eye on your airspeed, on your altitude. All that definitely comes in mind with this aircraft. This is not an easy one on approaches, on turns this low. You really want to watch your airspeed. Make sure you keep good airspeed in there. And not too much flaps and all that stuff. You really want to make sure you give it the time it needs to settle out. This aircraft will stall out and you'll lose air under the wing and it will fall right to the ground. So very very challenging aircraft at lower speeds and lower altitudes. You just want to keep an eye on that. However, manageable and fun to fly. I find it more enjoyable when aircrafts are more challenging. And this being a prototype that Howard Hughes made, of course we're going to have some fun with it, right? I mean, the first two crashed, so that should tell you all you need to know about how difficult this plane was with an excellent flyer like him, right? All right, here comes the gear down. Let's go ahead outside to get a picture of that. Sorry, there we go. Gear down, baby. Woo! I love it. I love it. I love it. Great aircraft. I like the visibility too. With the canopy being open, this would be a great aircraft to take, you know, for adventures and stuff, to see different places. You see the nose is pitching up as soon as I put a little bit more flaps in. Airspeed's coming off there. We're almost about 100 knots or so. We're not far from the airport. I don't want to slow too much. I got to keep an eye on our airspeed. This thing stops pretty good on the ground, so as long as you keep it under control in the air, you should be okay, right? I love it though. It definitely handles very challenging. Like you can see right there, it wants to push that right wing down, so it does not like to go slow at all. Definitely a challenging aircraft, and it's nose heavy at lower speed, so you want to keep that nose pushed in. And I'm trimming the nose down right now as we're coming in. I'm going to start bleeding off some airspeed now. We're close enough to slow down here. There we go. Definitely a fun aircraft indeed though. This is one of the most challenging planes as far as lower airspeeds and everything. You see, it's really like a matter of tiner adjustments when you're flying this thing to get this thing not to stall on you as you're approaching. I'm really having to force the nose down and fight the air with it. We got a lot of turbulence being right off the ocean like this and a crosswind. So we're just keeping an eye on it. We're kind of crabbing slightly a little bit here. So I'm going to have to put a little bit of rudder in there to even this thing out a little. We got a little bit of runway to go here. See the wind's blowing right towards us, so at least we have the wind on our favor. Yeah, it's a challenging plane for sure. I'm trying to focus on landing it here. Nice and gentle, guys. There you go. Oh yeah, that's a nice plane. Very, very nicely done. There you go. Flying fries with the wind. Beautifully done aircraft here. I'm putting the flaps up immediately because I don't want to catch wind underneath our wings right now. Let the thing kind of roll on back. I love it. Alright guys, so this is the Neon Flash edition of this aircraft. We're going to go ahead and check out some more liveries and wrap this video up. So let's go ahead and turn off the aircraft here. Set the brake. Open up the cowl flaps. I love it. It's a great aircraft. We're definitely going to do a live stream and take it for a flight. Super cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and power everything down here. Here are some of the liveries. As you can see, they have the Hollywood, the original, a couple different ones, raw steel, the one that we flew today, the neon flash, army green, many different options. You have six different options right here of liveries to choose from. It's a fun aircraft. Definitely highly recommend. And I just want to give a thanks to Flying Fries for allowing me to bestow upon the honor to check this aircraft out. If you guys like it, smash the thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, peace. Thanks for watching, guys.